noise. Or like really loud noise.
Oh, played for 10
or
hours already.
Constant noise either.
Whoops. Well, close to 11 hours.
11 hours, so it's like a 15-hour.
Yeah, I think we'll be done around the 15-hour mark. I can't remember what we're doing. Mary,
I guess you gotta figure it out.
We're
that doesn't help.
looking into the cannon soldier.
Thank you, Couch.
Alright. Madoka, right, you with me.
Thank you so much. I don't remember the voice of the homeless guy. I don't know. I don't remember too much how to bring it out.
Yeah.
He had some energy. Oh, he's smiling.
It's a thick iron door. The keyhole isn't rusted. I could open it if I had the key. Open it over the underground shelter key. There's a single L-placed Buddha statue. His head has been cut off. It's a Buddha statue. The headless Buddha statue is covered in dust. There's a talisman stuck to the neck, as if it's taken the place of the missing head. Found a worn-out talisman. When I pick up the worn-out talisman, I feel warmth flow through me. Got soul power. The worn-out talisman crumbles silently in my hand. It's a big iron box. Madoka.
What are these doing here?
The box is packed with carelessly tossed Buddha statue heads. A real, actual head can clearly be seen among them. It's dry and mummified, but going by the long hair, it's probably female. Most likely one of the experiment's victims. So this is where it was. Let's take it and bring it to its owner. I thought you'd say that. Oh, just kidding. I feel a hero's gaze on me. I can only carry one head and need to choose which one to take. That one stands out.
Yeah.
Got human head.
Oh.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Deathmark.
Yeah.
Jump scares are cheap.
Yes.
For real.
It was like, how dare you take the head?
It's a thick iron door. The keyhole isn't rusted. I could open it if I had the key. Open the door with the underground shelter key. I can hear the victory chant coming from the other side of the intersection. Keep going. Let's rug and keep moving forward. I take one step forward and an electric current runs through my body and my muscles seize up.
You layabout. What are you doing there? You have time to be loafing around, do you? Recite this base's slogans at once. I guess I'm a drill sergeant now. Cheer for the final battle in the homeland. Greg, I'm gonna make you do this.
Alright. Once more! Declare resolve to strike back with air raids! We won't lose even if our country's reduced to ashes! Show your determination! Our army has fought bravely from the southern tropics to the northern Arctic. But the tide still hasn't turned in our favor. What do you think? Can we win this crusade? You're pretty promising for a new recruit. Keep a good eye on this squad. Farewell. That victory chant is so hype.
It's creepy how it loops like that.
Human bones. Looks like the person was crushed to death. There's a thick iron door. The keyhole isn't rusted. I could open it if I had the key. Open the door with the underground shelter key. It's the operating room in the southern section. On this table is...
It's a corpse. With a severed head. No surprise.
A headless corpse is lying there. A headless corpse is lying on top of the operating table. The head I picked up earlier might fit on this corpse's neck. Should I try attaching the head? Yes. I try attaching the human head. The human head fits the severed neck perfectly. The world suddenly distorts. A horrific scene appears before my eyes. This is the woman on the operating table? Some kind of experiment is being performed on her. I must be seeing in the past. The sound triggers a change in views. Men in lab coats holding surgical tools, but they don't look like they're alive. The ghosts of the researchers seem to be stuck forever in a nightmare of the past. I can hear the men whisper from my left side. Greg.
Hey, she's awake. Don't worry. She'll be dead soon anyway. Sure enough.
Then something else interrupts. You. This time it's a cold whisper from my right. You can hear me, can't you? Don't be afraid, soon. The voice on my right cuts off. I can hear the men in the lab coats again.
Hey woman, which of these tools do you want us to use to cut your neck? This is it for you. So I'll let you decide. Good answer. You're pretty smart. Fortunately, you'll soon be saying goodbye to that clever head of yours. It's valuable material. We'll cut it off nicely. Shut up. Just like a pig. That's why I hate handling women. patient. Finally found a clue.
Not yet. Wait. Now, give you power. The whisper from my right follows silence.
Yeah, I never dreamed of breaking from our usual method would go so well. Hey, Pig, do you understand? Do you know the correct combination of head and body for the heavenly Buddha? Precisely. That's why we need your head. Gladly offer it up for the sake of our beloved country. The problem is the soul freshness, regardless of refrigeration. It's all up to the quality of the cut. Though there are only so many available methods. It's all the equipment we have. Get into the freezer.
The voices on the left cut out. A determined voice echoes my right ear. Hate, hate, hate. Hate this world. Tear it to pieces. The power to do that, I give it all to you. In the place where you hear me now. Hate them, destroy them. Understand? Good. Destroy them. When I returned to my senses, I was standing beside the operating table. Just then, something slides out of the hand of the corpse on the table. Got a small key. What? I just saw... No, more importantly, the voice that kept speaking from my right side. Who was that?
You don't look so good. Did you see something weird again?
Yeah, actually. I explained to Hiroo what I just saw. A horrible tragedy happened here in the past. It's possible that whatever triggered it might have been whoever that voice belonged to.
Who cares about that? Erasing the mark is more important right now.
Well, I'm not sure about the part, but... Hiru's right. This isn't helping us accomplish our goal. We need to search for whatever gave birth to that spirit. Let's keep looking. That small key I just found might belong to this cabinet here. I turn my attention to the mark on my wrist. It isn't coming yet. I glance over at Hiroo, but I don't seem to be acting differently at all. That should be closing in on us, but it seems we still have some time. What's important right now is making sure we're survive. It's the rusted filing cabinet. It's a well-built metal cabinet. Whatever's inside should be intact. Open the door using the small key. Inside's an old gun and some research records. It's only berserk, severe damage, sutra chanting, complete insanity. Only those who made themselves deaf managed to remain sane. Hands spiritualized, like the disposal vat. Need sacred object attacked. Destroy human head. The heart of all this. Need to destroy human head. That's all it said. Got gun with blanks, research records 3. It's missing not only his head, but also all of his limbs. What kind of torture was this? The door is stained with blood. Upon closer look, it's countless handprints. The keyhole is perfectly fine. I could open the door if I had the key. Open the door with the underground shelter key. Inside the room are a number of Buddha statues. They're all missing their heads. It seems this is where they stored all the various statues they gathered through theft or donations.
It feels like something's here. Maybe this is where the heart of the curse or the source of the spirit is.
I brace myself for input from the other me. But it doesn't seem like that's happening. Does that mean I should already know? It's a statue that seems to be divine in general. Its head's been severed. It's a statue with its head's cut off. It seems to be holding some kind of Buddhist ritual implement. It's a statue with its head cut off. It's lying pitifully on the floor. It's Vasvana statues missing its heads. It's a statue that looks like a Vriyar Raja or something. It's missing one of his arms as well as his heads. It's a statue with its head cut off. It looks like it's held a weapon in its left hand. It's a statue that looks like a divine general. It has armor from the Tang dynasty. Let's search all the statues. Every statue here has a male body. Suddenly there's a sound movement from within the box. Goes. This big iron box. I managed to open the box. Sheets of ripe paper inside. There seem to be a multitude of talismans. Was something sealed here? Hiroo peers into the box beside me.
So, was something in there?
Well, my voice sounds distant. The cause of the curse, what birthed the spirits? There's nothing like that here. No, there's nothing here.
What? What do you mean? Then what's that in your hand?
Hiroo is right. It's not true that there is nothing inside. There is one thing. I never would have expected something like this. Something that doesn't belong here. A box sealed by talismans has enshrined, Western-style cushion. Hiroo sighs, disappointed.
Guess we're out of luck. No way this thing gave birth to a spirit.
True. But the statue just ruined the voices. Something important was definitely sealed up in this place at one point. And just nothing here. Then the thing we're searching for? Where the hell did it go? A long silence falls between us. Just then that a now familiar pain flares up. The mark burns scarlet. Zemelius died of Crave Crimson. Death is only a few minutes away. What's going on? Is death closing in on all of us all of a sudden? No, it's... Spirit is here. An enemy stand.
What part is this?
Part 7.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
A low sutra chant trembles the air. It feels like my whole body is numb. Maybe because of that hum.
Where's the stand user?
Well,
Yoshiki loses consciousness. Yoshiki shoots the gun with blanks. I grab the gun but I can't control my hand. He turns the gun towards my head and fires. The blank explodes, my consciousness fades. There's a strong ringing in my ears. It's preventing me from hearing the sutra chant. Hugh is clutching her head like they can't hear anything either. The numbness has faded. Hugh shakes the Kagura Suzu bell. Nothing happens. Kannon soldier yells, making my heart clench. Hiro was injured. Yoshiki was injured.
oh, that's the first time we've seen injury.
Palm pistol. Kagura Suzu bell. Yoshiki shoots the palm pistol. Kannon soldier's wounded. The spear fades and becomes intangible. Hiro shakes the Kagura Suzu bell. Kannon soldier's wounded. The spear turns solid again. Kannon soldier yells, making my heart clench. Hiro was injured. Yoshiki was injured. Sword. Yoshiki shoots his ranged short sword's blade. Kannon soldier's wounded. The spear fades and becomes intangible. Hiro shakes the Kagura Suzu bow. Kannon soldier's wounded. The spear turns solid again. Kannon soldier yells, making my heart clench. Yoshiki was injured. Hiro was injured. Yoshiki slashes the rusted army sword. Kannon soldier's wounded. The spear fades and becomes intangible. Hiro shakes the Kagura Suzu bow. Kannon soldier's wounded. The spear stops. I guess the attack finally worked. Out of nowhere, footsteps approach behind me. Greg.
Whoa!
A voice yells comically. Whoever it is puts their hand on my back. I can't take my eyes off the spirit before me. Banshee? Is that you? What are you doing? Instead of replying, he shoves something into my hand. It's a large chisel with a grip stained in blood. This is...
I found it in that room in the mansion.
That instant, I understand everything. The heart of the curse that we were searching for. The object that gave birth to the spirit. So it was Captain Kujo's mansion? Thanks. I'm going to use it. I grabbed a chisel and faced the spirit. Kannon soldiers weakened. Ashiki swings down the chisel down the soldier. Oh. I drive the chisel deep between his eyes. The Kannon soldier convulses as it meets its ghastly end. It starts to crumble, a glare enough to scorch the entire world.
It's nice knowing you.
The statue
At
stops
least it
moving
didn't
and
have
collapses.
googly eyes. It stopped, right?
Seems so. But make sure not to drop your wallet, okay? I don't got the mark anymore, so there's no doubt about it.
Once again, I'm the only one still cursed.
Glad I made it in the nick of time. My legs weren't in such good shape. It would have been over for us.
Thanks for saving us, but you know that was pretty reckless. I thought it said it's dangerous for a group of mark bearers to go somewhere haunted.
Yeah, you did mention something like that when I was eating. It completely slipped my mind.
Tell us, old man. What happened at the mansion?
I'm not quite sure myself. But I'll tell you what I know. After you left, I wandered the place looking for something to eat. Not enough food in that place, really. My mark hurt like hell right by the room. I slipped inside and found a bunch of chisels and things.
Must be in that room I found. I was kind of out of... Oh,
I was kind of out of it because of the mark at that point. But I noticed one of the chisels was glowing all weird in a dark light. I knew right away that it was hiding some awesome spiritual power.
what made you decide that you had to bring this chisel here? It seems sure it would be effective against the Kannon soldier.
I heard a voice when I picked it up. It reminded me of a lady, sort of. It said, to bring the chisel to you. And that's when it hit me. What I've been looking for.
Oh, that thing you mentioned in the car. The heart of curse that created the spirit.
Exactly that. So I hoofed it over to give it to you.
And looked through that room before. Ahsoka said that the Kujo family used to create Buddha statues a long time ago. It's possible that chisel was used to create the statue that became his Kannon soldier. I know what that voice was that he heard. Probably something like this mysterious voice that guided me before. You know, I haven't heard it in a while.
And that's what happened. So we heading back to the mansion then, Yashiki? For one, I'm hungry. I bet Daimon's worried too. I left without saying a word after all.
Yeah. Searching for documents on the mark. Carting artist statues out. Take more than a day to do all of that. We should go back to the mansion and figure out what to do next.
What? We're leaving already? I wanted to examine this place.
I glanced at the statue falling to the floor. Sorry, but you have to do that another time. No. I'll know as she shrieks hysterically, glaring at us with a strange look in her eyes.
Oh, what's the fuss, Hero? Your wallet's right there. You eat something weird?
A mark suddenly scorches me. My flashlight blinks out. I hear voices echoing. The passage reverberates with sinister chanting, like groans from hell. This chanting.
It's the Kannon soldier. It's calling to here.
Kannon soldier, great Ashura. It's mine. No one can have it.
She stumbles away over to the fallen Kannon soldier. Hey, Hiroo!
Oh, hold on, that's dangerous. It's still.
She lowers herself next to the statue. She curls her head lovingly in her arms. Hiroo.
Oh, great Ashura. Ashura, 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 Ashura. Ashura, Ashura, am I turning into Sue?
Like a reply to Hiroo's whispers, a voice echoes, one I shouldn't be able to hear. The Kannon soldier stands up, raises a long arm. And decapitates. Fresh blood sprays everywhere as her head rolls along the floor. The Kannon soldier grabs Hiroo's head and body, still dripping blood. And vanishes into the darkness. Banshee and I are frozen in fear. All we can do is stare. The moment we come back to ourselves, we bolt out of the shelter like we were being chased. We climb up out of the manhole
Thanks, guys.
in Amnel's South Alley. Daimon runs up to us, drenched in sweat. He looks even worse than usual. He probably shouldn't have run.
I found you. Hey, old man. Why did you suddenly sprint out of the mansion? My mark is gone now, too. What in the world happened? I had something to give Yashiki. I made it in time, but then here... What happened to her? The Kannon soldier got her. We managed to destroy its head, but we didn't snuff out all of its power. Used the last of its strength, and... I see. Doctor sees many deaths, but when it's a young person, too much. Just so powerless. Well then. Now you standing around feeling sorry about here. We gotta eat, man. It may be cruel, but it's in the past now. Focus on dealing with your mark.
Right. They're better at handling death than I am. Probably comes from the experience. Just looking up that I can get rid of it. If I discover where the statues stolen for H Shrine are, might all work out in the end.
I'm lost, but I'm glad for you.
Thanks to all of you, I figured out the rest out by myself. You should all return to your regular lives.
You're saying we should separate? Will you really be alright?
I'm sure I'll manage. Besides, this is Sire Kujo's dying wish. I want to respect it.
I see. Then I'll do as you ask. Honestly, all this has put a strain on me. Apparently staying upright.
Whatever you do, don't collapse on your way home, please.
Hey, Yashiki. One day, I'm hoping to let the public know about the underground shelter. For the sake of the wandering souls without a proper burial. I'd like it if you help with it. Are you around? Guess I'll go too. There's no more food in that mansion.
You're not returning to the shelter, are you?
I may have balls, but I'm not about getting myself killed. The soldier might start up again. I'll give it a few days, then decide.
So you're still planning on going back? Sounds like a death wish to me.
Comes with living this kind of life. Plus, I'd like to give Hiroo a proper burial. I'll bunker down in the park under a bridge until things calm down. Hey, Yashiki. Bring more food next time, yeah?
The 4 mark bearers have all left. I should probably head to the mansion myself. I got to decide what to do next. I hear a voice calling from behind me. I turn to see Banshee in the middle of the road, staring intently at me. What's wrong?
I remember now. My voice doesn't sound like this.
His eyes are as wide as saucers.
I forgot because of the mark, but... I've met you before.
What? What do you mean?
Well, let me think.
He scratches his chin. I know his memories are probably all a mess, having just gotten them back. But I don't have time to wait for him.
Yes. We first met 5 years ago. And then again 10 days ago.
I feel I've been struck by lightning. I first arrived at Kujo Mansion 10 days ago. That means I met him before I lost my memories. I need to know, who in the world am I?
I couldn't say. I wasn't interested in asking your name, and you didn't give it.
Then tell me what you do know. Tell me about myself, please.
Okay. I owe you for the food. Don't ask.
What should I ask about? 5 years ago.
You showed up at the shelter. Want to know about the Heavenly Buddha Project. Gave me food. Huh. Actually, you were more focused on the Kujo family than the Kannon soldier.
Why did we talk about them?
The head at the time was majorly involved in the project. He was famous for a spiritual power, so the army asked him to help. He loaned them a number of his family's prized sacred treasures. He really zeroed in on that bit.
Do you know what exactly the army got?
Yeah, the shelter had a list. A mirror, a chisel, Buddha statues, cursed objects, and holy talismans. They were all returned to the family.
It means they're all in the mansion now.
You kept popping up. You kept popping by a few times. So one day you just didn't. I only saw you next 10 days ago.
Next is 10 days ago.
I'd just seen the cannon soldier, and you could bet I booked it out the manhole. I ran into you on the street. Had you treat me to some food to celebrate. Thanks for that, by the way.
Banshee's talking about the person I was before I lost my memories. It's weird to hear about myself this way.
You mentioned you've been overseas. You've only come back recently, about a month ago. Oh, that's when I learned of the mark. You told me about it. It slipped my mind until just now.
By that time, was my right arm.
Yeah, it had the mark. You were acting all odd, though. Go to remember something and stumble over the words.
The curse was probably in late stages. In fact, I completely forgot my name and passed a few hours after that.
By the by, I've got something to tell you. This here Banshee Itou is a much nobler character than regular folk. That's why I lead a detached life, away from the world's vulgarities.
What are you trying to say?
I could be crazy desperate, but I'd never shame my dear, departed mom, or divine providence. You understand?
No, you lost me.
I'm saying I'd never resort to stealing, even dying of hunger. Here, these are yours.
He pulls out a wristwatch and a wallet. Each looks like an antique, they're inlaid with subtle designs.
You forgot them at the restaurant.
Let me see them. I grabbed them both and rushed open the wallet. But there's no ID inside. There's no driver's license or company card with an ID in it. When you got it?
Don't ask me. You said you forgot your old wallet somewhere and lost it. It's probably in there.
Oh. I look at what else is in the wallet. Bills, coins, and a number of familiar business cards. Saya Kujo, spirit healer.
Ah, those things. Try to give me one. Told me to go there if I remembered anything. But I gave it back. Don't make a habit of carrying useless stuff.
Saya Kujo's card was in my pocket when I first arrived at Kujo's mansion. It must have been the one Banshee returned. There's no doubt about it. I lost all my memories after I met Banshee. I've asked everything I want to know. Something's still bugging me. Did I say anything about the mark when you saw me 10 days ago?
Well, so focused on reading that, I wasn't paying full attention.
Are you kidding?
Oh yeah, you said the same thing as Hiroo about the cannon soldier. No way a human head on a statue will make it move.
But it did actually move.
That's what I thought, too. And then, he said something strange. You said what happened 50 years wasn't because of the project. It was all because of her.
Her?
That's not all. You said she gave you the mark. That she loved watching you lose your memories and fear death. You made her kick the bucket once. She came back to life. She said you needed to do the same thing done 50 years ago to get rid of her.
My heart was beat out of my chest. I could feel sweat run down my face. There's no way I could keep calm. Before I lost my memories, I had known who had cursed me with the mark. Hey, old man! Who's she? Did I tell you?
I wanted to know too, so I asked. But you couldn't answer me. I don't think you were trying to hide it. You just honestly didn't remember.
Was that because of the mark?
Well, that's about all I can tell you. Yashiki, she get going soon.
Go? Where?
I'll tell you in your car. I'm real tired of standing. I'd like to sit for a bit.
There's no point arguing here. I'll just get it out of him once we're in the car. Note? Oh.
Well, nope. The mansion's out of the way.
Banshee
Like
clambers into the back seat of the car. His heavy scent fills the enclosed space.
I can finally catch my breath. Now then, driver, take us to the forest by H Castle.
I drive down a familiar road. All lights along the way grew strangely green. We reach our destination without me having to slow down the car at once. The engine chugs along. I feel the wheels of fate turning like those on the car I'm riding in.
10 days ago, I promised. In exchange for you buying me an extra order of almond jelly. You did forget everything. I take you to each shrine.
Sounds like I prepared for everything. If I was that careful, why didn't I leave myself a clue? Why be prepared if I was just going to forget? The curse progressed faster than expected, so there wasn't time. I just want to get rid of it. Bad business at H Shrine. Why didn't go there while I still had my memories?
Something about timing. Waiting for some magic summer cleaning to clear away impurity?
Suddenly, my old self echoes in my head. I speak the words out loud slowly as realization dawns. The summer purification rites. The rites held at shrines to exorcise evil. On the last day of June, you pass through woven reeds to cleanse yourself. I was trying to use the ritual to exorcise the impurity.
Ah, gotcha. Luckily, today's the 1st of July. The rites or whatever are done. Should be no problem now.
Exorcise the impurity, huh? What kind of impurity was I trying to cleanse? The more I learn, the less I understand. My previous self is like a complete stranger to me. How many times have I come to this forest now? The creepy arch and thick trees look the same as always.
You know where H Shrine is, yeah? lead the way.
So you never been here there?
First I heard of it was 10 days ago.
Banshee and I pushed through the vegetation, making our way down a beast trail. We passed under a stone torii gate. Finally arrived at desolate age shrine. The few headless Buddha statues to our left shined like the flashlight.
The statues used in the project stolen from here?
Yeah, that's right.
Is it really true the statues are connected to the mark somehow?
I considered the possibility that the mark was caused by the divine wrath. But 10 days ago,
You said what happened 50 years ago wasn't because of the project. It was all because of her.
this course I've been following this whole time. Then at some point I've been fed some huge lie. But what could it be? A shudder just runs through me as the thought. It feels like I'm looking to the depths of hell.
That 10 days ago, that altar holds something important. Something about needing to keep it here to exercise the impurity.
He approaches a small altar and puts his hand on the sliding door. Huh?
Huh? What's going on here? The thing's empty.
Don't ask me. It was already gone when I was here earlier.
Well, that's darn weird. Said there was a cloth pouch.
What was inside?
A small, fist-sized statue? Banshee Butsu or something? It was the Go Shintai for the shrine. Kujo had used it in the shelter to stop the mess 50 years ago.
And again, it's the Kujo family. They must have strong ties to the mark.
Well, this is about all I can do for you. At least it was enough to pay off the dessert. Should head back, son.
Right. Still unsure about what my old self was thinking, but it's clear whatever plan I had didn't work. Where did Neji Butsu go? On the way back, I feel reluctant to go. Keep turning to look towards the shrine. Each time I do, Banshee hurries me up onto their forest entrance.
Well, this is where we part ways.
You're not going to ride back with me?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I got a bit car sick on the way here. Flat roads were fine, but the curves and hills did me in. Got a nice meal. I'd hate to throw it up, so I'll walk back.
But it's pretty far from here.
Kids are such wimps these days. When I was young, I used to walk across the Himalayas all the time. Ain't nothing.
His laugh is loud enough for the whole forest to hear. He waves and leaves me alone. Once he's out of sight, I get into the car. I pull out the deserted parking lot and drive back to the mansion. As I count the streetlights passing by, I go over everything Banshee told me. 50 years ago, in the shelter, the Kannon soldier went berserk, but it wasn't because of the army's experiments. It was her. The army is unable to stand up to the threat of her and the soldier. But the Kujo family had used the Nejibitsu to settle everything. However, she still existed until this time period. She was the one who gave me my mark. Before I lost my memories, I was planning on using the Nejibitsu like they did before. I left it at H-Shrine so it could be cleansed of its impurity. But somewhere along the line it went missing. The past me probably could have predicted that would happen. I'm almost back at Kujo's mansion. As my drive comes to an end, I focus on what the most important detail is. That's right, who she is. I have a hunch about her identity, but I can't be sure yet. And that definitely proves that she was there. 50 years ago, she made the Kannon soldier, move it down the shelter. The Kujo's family had sealed her. They would brought her to the mansion. The sacred objects for the project, of which she was one, were returned to the Kujos. I gripped the steering wheel tighter. If there were any way to defeat her, she just has to be in the mansion. I don't have any solid proof, but the fragments of my memories are whispering to me. The entrance doesn't look any different. My mark burns. Sharp pain nearly brings me to my knees. It seems she has no intention of hiding her presence any longer. Mary.
So, we meet again.
Mary's voice is soft. I know now. Behind those words is hidden intense lust for blood. You came back to life rather quickly.
You gave me nearly a whole day. More than enough time. I admit, that rapid attack surprised me. But unexpected events can themselves be rather enjoyable.
When I brought Mary to H-Shrine, we caught sight of the rabbit there. I might have suspected Mary's true nature.
That rabbit. Its great love for you pushed it into recklessness.
Was that rabbit really?
Determine that for yourself. Who are you? Know that, and the answer will come. Though it is impossible so long as you bear the mark I gave you.
Mary gave me the mark. I had a hunch, but hearing it from her lips fills me with dread. Just what are you trying to accomplish?
Dragging the living to the depths of despair before killing them. I believe I explained that. It is a spirit's utmost desire and joy. And I had your cooperation with achieving that.
Cooperate? That's ridiculous.
Oh, have you not realized yet? You did bring those pathetic mark bearers directly to the spirits, did you not? They fear the spirit's existence, tremble in the face of death. The brief joy of their survival, only to be crushed like miserable ants. I savor the taste of that fear and despair. Most delicious.
Yet all of us help out. Just to terrify the mark bearers even more?
Clearly. I could have waited for the curses to complete if I only wanted them dead. That is not the only lie. Mark bearers must stay in small groups. Do not contact outsiders. All my instructions were to drive you into a state of emergency. And not once did you doubt me.
I bet she's telling me all of this because she wants me terrified with how hopeless the situation I find myself in is. I'm frozen in place and know my face must be as pale as death. She must be loving this. Don't tell me you created all those spirits just to accomplish that.
Indeed. When Lady Kirsty believed the divine wrath was the cause of the mark, I had never been more amused. Her foolishness was so delightful, I just had to come along with you.
So you lied.
Of course. How could a pile of broken statues possibly do anything?
I could be imagining it, but I feel like she hesitated for a moment there.
"50 years ago, I was sealed away by the head of the Kujo family. I woke here 5 years ago. At the time, I was still unable to speak and communicate. But it seems my awakening alone caused a number of ripples. Those who died unfortunate deaths on cursed lands became monstrous spirits.
The elementary abuse, the honeybee mass suicide, psychos assault and suicide. They all happened 5 years ago.
I finally regained my full power a little over a month ago. Then the Buddha statue connected to me 50 years ago began moving. The woman killed by the statue was also influenced by my power.
That must be the Kannon soldier Tsukara. Tsukara, I believe, was divine oracle from the soldier, when it really had been Mary. She did as the great Ashura said, and transformed herself into Ms. Zhu.
Once my strength returned, I again bestowed my power on spirits. It connects humans to me and manipulates them into a panic. The mark?
I know I've been toying with us, but, well, was there really a need to make us be connected to you in some way?
Of course. By being in direct contact with you, I could taste your fear. Even now. Are you scared of me, Lord Yashiki? So you are terrified to the extent that it steals your speech.
Her porcelain face cracks.
Ever since you declared that you would fight the mark, I have waited eagerly for this day. Over the past 10 days, I have tasted your fear through the mark. thick and syrupy, as sweet as honey. Each savior morsel made me want to smash you to pieces. But I waited. I am not so foolish as to kill a goose that lays golden eggs. Ah. But I cannot take it anymore. Like crushing a ripe fruit and snipping its juices. I want to break you down and savor your sweet fear.
The marks died to crimson. The furious left into death closes in. The thoughts blurred together suddenly. What happens to a mark bear right before dawn? I've seen it many times. Is that what's happening to me now?
Yoshiki, wait for me. I'll kill.
I can hear Mary stand up over by the sofa. At this rate, the rabbit's fate will be mine, too. I have to run away.
That's definitely not me.
Check within the red in my room. Something whispers in my ear. That's right, that voice. But what does my room mean? Focus. Who does that voice belong to? Ashoka, she said. It was someone who loved me. Mary's coming closer. Where should I run? I sprint at full speed up the stairs and fly into Sire's room. Much like the entrance hall is dark. The voice said, check within the red in my room. Is something there? But where should I look? Sire Kujo's blood stains still on the floor. It is obviously dry by this point in time. There might be something lying on top of it. I can't be sure, as it's too dark. Nothing was there the last time I was here. Picking it up, I discovered that it's a small pouch. Inside it is a hard, thin object. I moved over to the mirror to see better. This is a small Buddha statue. It can't be. Is this the Nejibutsu? It seems to be stained with blood, and I get an ominous feeling from it. Right, the impurity. It hasn't been exorcised yet. I instinctively know the instant I see it. My mind suddenly flooded with all of my memories of Nejibutsu, one after another. 50 years ago, the head of the Kujo family used this to steal Mary's power. He put the Nejibutsu inside her to seal her. Then, about a month ago, someone took it out. That person was me. Because of that, Mary gained her powers. The Nejibutsu in my hand looks exactly as it did back then. Full of impurity. Impurity that's built up from sealing Mary's power for 50 years. To cleanse it, I left the Nejibutsu at the uncontaminated H-Shrine. It would take time to exorcise all the impurity. It's already July, the summer purification rite is over. So why is it still impure? The object the rabbit had in his mouth. It could have been carrying the pouch then instead of the master key. Then the Nejibutsu was taken away from the H shrine before the beginning of July. Maybe the rabbit saw Mary by the shrine and was scared that she would find it, so he had no choice but to steal it away. The door to the adjacent room opens. Mary must be looking for me, but she can't sense the presence of mark bearers. What's going on? Wait, is it possible that Saya's blood is protecting me? Bring it to where I met my end. The voice whispers in my ear again. This is what the voice owner died. They must have met the end elsewhere. There's only one other place. My Mary's in the room next door. I sprint down to the entrance hall. I make a beeline to Mary's sofa in the spot where the rabbit died. The voice that spoke to me and helped me every time the spirit was closing in. If Saya was working through anything, it must have been that rabbit. Sensing something, I looked down my hand. The Nejibutsu impurity is gone. Is that what you've been telling me, Saya? I speak to the departed women who guarded me as I struggle without memories. But the Nejibutsu, the source of Dawn's curse, press it to the black mark. Then the whispers stop. The floorboards creak ominously. I raise my hand to the staircase, rising into the darkness before me. A dark figure stands on the landing.
I found you.
The mark scorches me. My head goes blank. Mary's coming closer. The body won't listen to me.
Lord Yashiki.
Mary closes her hands around my neck. She's trying to get me. I squeeze the Nejibutsu in the fog that's impeding my thoughts lifts. It's still a struggle to think. I should be able to move my arm now. Put the Nejibutsu in the source of the curse. Only have one chance. Where should I stick the Nejibutsu? I managed to drag my impossibly heavy arm and stick the Nejibutsu on Mary's right arm. She's hiding it. But I'm sure that's where the black mark was. Marks bloom on Mary one after another. They're all the color of blood. It's like the curses of those she killed. The Annabelle bitch dies.
No longer on my waifu list. Banned.
Bad waifu.
Mary shatters into dust. Did I really do it? I hesitantly look down my right arm. The mark is gone. I did it? I finally did it. I had to say out loud to convince myself. A victory at the expense of Saya and the mark bearer's lives. I can't claim it's all over, but there's no harm being relieved for now. The fog clouding my head clears away. My memories slowly return to me. I look around the dimly lit hall again. I know this mansion well, because the clock on the second floor begins chiming wildly like it did 10 days ago. When I make my way to it, it stops. Almost as if it has a will of its own. That's right, this grandfather clock. I think a skilled ancestor of the Kyujo family crafted it. The one chisel may have been used to make it. That's right, inside this clock. I open the door and stick my hand inside. My fingers brush something hard. Taking it out, I realize it's a voice recorder. I press the play button. It's a man's voice, a voice I know all too well. It's my voice. I decide to leave this record behind, in case something should happen. The doll may dispose of any files or documents. I'm banking on her overlooking a piece of technology. As I listen, I start to remember recording this. I done it right before I received the mark from Mary. Now, where should I begin? It started 5 years ago, 2 years after I became Kyujo family head. My sister Sire and I found a doll in a wood box while sorting the warehouse. The moment I broke the seal and saw her, I could sense something sinister. But it took a while longer to fully understand what she truly is. If only there had been records. The great-great-grandfather who sealed her didn't leave any before his early death. Because of that, his descendants weren't told about the doll. I managed to learn the doll had been loaned to the army lab during the war. A strange old man who lived in an underground shelter told me. Then went overseas to try to get more information on the doll. But I got into the accident right away. It was presumed missing. So Sire became a new family head. I wasn't able to contact her until after she had inherited the tile. It wasn't something worth contesting. So I explained everything and how to keep up the facade that I was missing. Public records still stated Masamune Kyujo was still very much alive, of course. I could not use my passport or license otherwise. I'm off topic, sorry. I only just returned to the country last week. Other psychics abroad us agreed it would be bad to leave the doll be. An Nejibitsu inside the doll still suppresses cursed power, but I realized that it was almost at its limits. If I left it alone, it would crumble. Then it'd be impossible to suppress the cursed power of the doll. That was the worst case scenario. But what was to be done? The answer I came up with was to root the Nejibitsu from the doll temporarily. Its impurity would be cleansed after a month stored in a pure area, and then I'll place it back in the doll. If I succeed, the doll's power will be sealed for a few more decades. But the problem is that 1 month, I have no idea what kind of curse will be released with the doll unsealed. I'll do what I can to prevent disasters. My power can't compare to the Nejibutsu. I can't guarantee anything. There may be victims again like the tragedy 50 years ago. But this is a necessary evil. It must be done in order to prevent even more people from falling victim. After this, I'll disassemble the doll and remove the Nejibutsu. I'll pray everything goes according to plan, and the worst of evils is avoided. I hope this record isn't needed. But the one listening to this has a loved one who has fallen victim to the curse, then I'm very sorry. The recording ends there. Damn it. I clenched my fist so hard my nail dig into my palms. Yes, the voice on the tape was mine, but I'm furious with it. I don't know that person at all. The mark has claimed so many victims over the past month, like the mark bearers. I even lost my little sister, Saya. Was she just another inevitable victim that the voice spoke of. It had to be done. Ankuzo Yashiki by Masamune Kujo. I understand why he felt as if he had to do that. It was his fate. The Kujo family are forever linked to this cursed doll. Two months have passed. Occasional cool breeze signals that summer is almost over. I spent my time putting a case of the mark to rest as best I can. I put aside to rest by burying the rabbit and contacted the surviving mark bearers. Putting the Buddha statues in places of honor was also one of those tasks. They weren't connected to the mark after all, but I couldn't just leave them there. Plus, there was no Christie to keep quiet about the statues. So with their guidance, Ashoka, Daimon, and Banshee's help, I carried the broken statues out of the shelter and returned them to H Shrine. In the process, I discovered that the Kannon soldier was nowhere to be found. Hiro's body is also missing. Where'd he go? It remains a mystery. By now, my memory has completely returned. Things didn't quite go as originally planned, but at least the danger has passed. I don't think my decision as Masamune Kujo was wrong, but at times waves of powerlessness and despondency overwhelm me. When I think of the mark's victims, of Saya and the mark bearers, my chest hurts. I want to do something for them as the new head of the Kujo family. What the memories I regained? I became the Kujo family head 7 years ago. I'll admit I was a bit of a recluse. I left the public appearances to Saya, preferring to stay out of the spotlight. The only photos of me are from small local newspapers. I uncovered Mary by accident in the family's warehouse 5 years ago. It was the discovery that changed my life. I traveled extensively abroad in order to learn more about Mary. In one country, I got into an accident and fell into a coma for half a year. Even worse, the country proceeded to treat me as an unidentified traveler. I don't know if that was merely my terrible luck, or if Mary's curse has something to do with it. When I was finally able to contact home, Saya had already become new head. The rest was the tape said. I had no idea that Mary's power is far greater than I had imagined. All my efforts to suppress her power were completely useless. My memories unraveled faster than I thought. How did Mary came to be in the first place? One theory said a doll maker in the 19th century used magic to create her. Another said a spirit of a young girl who died prematurely took up residence in a doll. In the end, it's still a mystery. No one knows what happens to a created doll like that. We only know that each of Mary's owners died tragic deaths. Shortly after, the turn of the 20th century, she came to be owned by the head of the Kujos. He either didn't know the curse or simply didn't believe it. Disaster began befalling the family. Mary gained enough power to become sentient and produce spirits. Then the tragedy in the center happened. They seething grudges of the experiment's victims and the Buddha statues. They may have triggered her awakening. Whatever Mary's true identity is, the fact remains she altered many people's fates. Mine and the mark bearers included. Speaking of, an update on the surviving mark bearers. Mo Watanabe became a part-time writer for her favorite magazine, OOP Arts Monthly. She sometimes comes to Kujo Mansion to interview me about spirits and ghosts. Tsukasa Yoshida is studying every day for the middle school exams next year. He bragged in his letter to me about how well he did in the national mark tests. Satoru Mashida brought me a drink, like he promised. Seems he's thinking about becoming a private detective. He actually asked me if I wanted to join him, Was he serious? I don't know for sure. Sho Nagashima is picking fights, riding his bike, and doing whatever he wants, as usual. But recently, out of the blue, I heard he's joined a neighborhood baseball team. Christy Arimura has started writing an essay exposing all of her past affairs. She's trying to get back into the industry. Suzu Morimura was able to see her father. Lately, she started asking me for advice about how to get her parents to reconcile. I had no idea if I helped at all, but she said they sometimes have meals together now. Ita Nakamasu has gone back to surfing the DBS every day as usual. What's new is he's been stopping by the city employment center. I guess he wants to get a steady job, be a role model for Suzu. Best of luck to him. A day doesn't go by that I don't see Ai Kashiwagi on TV as part of Love and Hero. She sent a ticket like she promised, but I need to drum some courage to go to a concert for teens alone at my age. Tawako Yashoka is still working as a fortune teller in Ginza. Apparently she believes I have spiritual powers or something. She keeps sending customers with spirit prompts to the mansion. I wish she stopped. After he helped clear out the statues, Shuuji Daimon condition worsened and he's hospitalized. I think he worked himself too hard. Banshee Itou gave up living in that shelter after everything but that happened. He still treks down there occasionally to pray for Hiroo. All the mark bearers became victims, all for the sake of the terror Mary sought. Whenever I remember them, my chest aches and I can't help but think, is it possible? Do they bear a dark grudge against me for everything, for surviving? I'm so sorry. How many times have I muttered that useless and meaningless apology? But I become more determined each time. All I can do now is make sure that that tragedy never happens again. For that, I need to hurry my preparations for putting the Nejibutsu inside Mary. The Nejibutsu alone won't be enough to continue sealing her powers in the years to come. I must prepare extra spiritual measures. It's taken a long time to get those ready, but today, I finally finished. Did the Banshee just lose power? What's going on? What is this feeling? My arm is burning. Why is the mark... What's happening? Calm down. I need to calm down. First I need to get a grasp of my situation. Since I haven't survived this long. A horrible familiar noise echoes in the hall.
There you are. You died.
That was a bad ending, dude. That's trash.
You dropped your wallet.
Well, you got your wallet back, though. The Banshee gave it back. The wallet was on you.